Well, they closed down the mill and they closed down the mine. They said you can't work but pay your taxes on time. Got 3 little babies gonna starve to death or freeze. We started making white lightning, it was Grandpa's recipe. Run, rebel, run to no avail. Run, rebel, run to the Scott County Jail.
Hey everyone, we are back and you are watching the Jailhouse Informant podcast live. You're locked in for the next hour with myself and my co-host, Dr. Christy Sumner. Where you at, Christy?
Hey everybody, I am in the Rugby Visitor Center right now. We've got a flashlight tour tonight at 8:30, so I decided to come over here and set up and do the podcast from the visitor center here, which is why the people behind me are kind of interesting, but they do represent some of the original villagers or colonists here in Rugby. So different backgrounds tonight. So even though Miranda and I are not in our jail currently, we will be talking about a very historic jail here tonight. So we're excited to bring back our Jailhouse series, or to get another guest in relation to our Jailhouse series.
Yeah, I love it when we're able to do this because it's so interesting to be able to learn more about these jails and what their uses are and what what people are doing with them, because they're all so different but yet still similar in the fact of them being county jails.
Yeah, absolutely. And to your point, just kind of how they're being preserved now, what their uses are, whether it be a museum like ours or a bed and breakfast or a bar. We've talked to some people who have it as a bar, or just the the shell of the building that it used to be. So it's really interesting to show just kind of the uses for these jails, and I'm excited that we do this.
Yeah. I'm always excited when we're able to bring those back on. So again, if anyone has any jails or old courthouses or what have you in your area that you would like for us to cover, send us a message, because it seems like the last little bit we've kind of been having a little bit of a challenge getting people on the show that's interested in sharing. And maybe it's the summer, maybe it's because people are traveling.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Yeah.
But
But hello to everyone there in the chat room. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight. If you do have any questions about about the location or for us or our guests, please put those there in the comment section. And if you don't mind, please put them in all caps as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So I cannot believe we are on the 18th day of July here. It's just gone by so fast, but we have so many things going on for the rest of the summer. We've got flashlight tours here at Rugby and guided ghost hunts and paranormal investigations. We've got them at the jail as well. As I said, I'm sitting right now in the Rugby Visitor Center, and we just had one of our first teams investigate. Ronnie Anderson was involved in that. And, we just had one of our first teams actually be able to investigate here in the Visitor Center at Rugby. And it is just an active location. I've had a couple of guided ghost hunts here inside the Visitor Center, and I wasn't expecting the activity that we got, but it is just an active building. So, keep us in mind if you want a guided ghost hunt, if you want a paranormal investigation, if you just want to do a flashlight tour of Rugby, either of the town or of the cemetery in North Village. Just keep us in mind, because it's a lot of fun here. And same at the jail. We do all of those things. I have those service offerings at the jail as well.
Yeah, and you can book all of those if you go to our website, historyhighwayshaunts.com. This weekend is going to be busy with tours tours. I know we've got on the schedule tomorrow night, we've got a flashlight tour at the jail that we still have some tickets available for. And that's a 2-hour tour there that where you get to hear the history as well as the hauntings and see video, audio, and photo evidence from the jail. So that's at 8 p.m. or excuse me, 8:30 p.m. on
Mhm.
Friday night there at the jail. We do have, I think we've got tours open at Rugby on Saturday
Mhm.
night, and then we also have the North Village tour has got some
Mhm.
spots available for Sunday night as well. So
Correct.
we try to limit these to 10 people. So you can book up until 4 p.m. the day of the event.
Yep, just go to the website that's on the bottom of the screen there. And some other exciting news, Highlands Telephone got all of our internet connected today at the bank building. So hopefully in the next few days, we'll be moving all of our gift shop and point of sale items over to the bank building, which is just a couple 100 feet from the jail. And we'll make that our true ticketing office and our true ticketing building and our gift shop building, which will allow us to open a few more rooms at the jail. So if you're a paranormal investigator, that gives you a little bit more space, a little bit more freedom there at the jail. And then it will also allow us to move our daytime tours to guided daytime tours. So we're really excited about that. So a lot going on at the jail as well. So if you try to call today or tomorrow, our phone system is still a little bit wonky until we can get that figured out. But internet has now been installed, and I think we're almost ready to go. We're almost there.
Yeah. And all that expansion and everything is made possible by you guys that have come and investigated the jail, come and toured the jail. It's always cool to see. I know you talked a little bit about this last night about the benefits of paranormal tourism and how
Mhm.
it helps, those tourism dollars help with the growth and expansion. And so
Mhm.
we're really excited about that because that does create a lot of new opportunities. So,
Mhm. It does.
um, yeah, Lisa, just kind of looking here. It is beautiful view. I'm actually sitting here on my farm, so yeah, so it's nice to be able to do the location outside here. And Ronnie was part of the investigation team that investigated this past weekend. I know they took advantage of investigating both the jail and historic rugby, which
Mhm.
is a great thing that folks can do. Reach out to us if you are interested in making a weekend of it because
Mhm.
rugby does provide lodging.
Yep.
So if you reach out to us, we have it on the website, but we can also steer you in the direction to get that lodging booked and such. So
Mhm.
um, anyways, so I'd say we go ahead and get to tonight's guest. If we don't have any other news, I'm trying to rack my brain since I don't have my news in front of me to see if there was anything I'm missing.
No, I think we got it. I think we got it. But I'm excited to get back on this Jailhouse series. So why don't you go ahead and introduce our guest? Because I think it's going to be a great conversation.
Yes, so I had the opportunity to meet these two ladies in person last year at the Deep South Paracon there in Alabama. And anyone that follows the paranormal, you need to be following these ladies, the Ghost Hunting Housewives, because they're not only wonderful individuals, but they're also great investigators and equipment makers as well. And they share the same passion and history as we have, or passion for the history of these locations. So they're going to be on tonight talking about the old Pauly Jail. So if you will help us in welcoming Miss Carol and Crystal from the Ghost Hunting Housewives.
Hi.
Hey,
Hey,
ladies.
ladies.
Hello again.
Yes, like I just saw you.
I know. I feel like we just spoke. Oh man, how awesome is that?
so, so I know a lot of the folks in here already know you ladies, but before we get into talking about the old Poly Jail, kind of introduce yourselves and tell us how you got into investigating the paranormal and your connection with the jail.
Well, Carol and I met, we're at 23 years of being best friends. And, we traveled around and we loved the historical aspect of different locations. And we would, go to these locations. And this was back when we didn't have all of the technology that we have today. So it was more of just recording and we even used styrofoam cups at some points during our old school investigations. And then as the years progressed, we still continued and traveled, had fun when we were going different locations. We decided almost 5 years ago that we were going to form the Ghost Hunting Housewives. And that, before, when we were, out there as not just a hobby, but just out there enjoying what we did, we were it was a bit different for us then than it is now. And we were, single moms at one point.
Younger.
We were younger. Our
Not
bodies
real.
decided to move fluently and not have creaks and popping noises. But we did. Carol and I went through a lot in our lives together. And when we formed Ghost Hunting Housewives, we were now, both married. We were working from home, and we decided that the Ghost Hunting Housewives needed to happen. So we formed the Ghost Hunting Housewives, and we knew that we wanted to, to focus on the history of these locations and finding the correct history of these locations. And that's where, we started investigating the Pauly Jail and finding the correct history and making sure that it was being told correctly, not just for, the respect of the living, but also of those who have passed away, because their stories are imprinted in these cells and in the walls of these locations that we research. And when I research, I deep dive down some rabbit holes, and I mean, I'll give you the entire family tree for every person that stayed there back to the 1200s. So
Nice.
Kind of a home away from home now.
it is.
So did you form a partnership with them, or how does it work?
We actually, it isn't really, we do a lot of fundraising for them.
Okay.
Last year, we did some fundraising for the cabin that's there in Bullitt County that was inherited there by the Historical Society as well. So we did, actually last year when we met Miranda, we were working on the fundraiser for the cabin there in Bullitt County. And we've got a lot of funds raised, and we've brought a lot of people in. So everything that's raised between the paranormal investigations or any events that's done at the Pauly Jail, it goes towards the restoration of the cabin, which will eventually open up to be able to be investigated as well. Right now, there's a lot of bats in there. We don't go in there.
You'll handle ghosts, but not bats, right?
No, I don't do spiders either. No spiders either.
So then, does the Historical Society own it?
Yes,
Okay.
it is. It is not owned by the city or the state or the county. It is owned by the Historical Society of Bullitt County.
Oh, very
Wonderful. So can you talk a little bit about Bullitt County and just sort of tell us a little bit about that area, just in case people aren't familiar with it?
So Bullitt County is about 45 minutes southeast of Montgomery, Alabama.
Okay.
And there is still to this day, between Montgomery and Bullitt County, there are just small little communities between there. You have to go to Montgomery for any large purchases, or you can go to the local Winn-Dixie that is in Union Springs, Alabama. And there's not much there. There are your Dollar Generals, always a Dollar General.
Always.
There is a McDonald's, but everything does close down. One thing about this small town is we have, not as much traffic that travels through there unless they're going over to Lake Eufaula from Montgomery. It's then traveled, but it's still not a touristy location. People are going there for either the Josephine, which is there in Union Springs and was the hotel there at one time and is now an art gallery, and they have a little cafe in there. and they're open a couple days a week. And then they have the Red Door Theater, that is also another historic location there. And then they have the Bullitt County Jail, which many people call the Pauly Jail. And that's really all there is to Bullitt County.
Once it closes, it's very quiet, except for the last time we were there.
Yeah, last time, because it is, where the locations are, it's very close to the hospital that's there. So that is one thing that we always tell everyone that's going in there is, you can't really trust some of the equipment with there being so much radio usage and ambulances, things of that sort. So, your REM pods and EMF, things like that are always going to go a little more haywire if it's a busy night at the hospital. Most nights, it's not. Most of the time, there's no one anywhere except for us. We're out frolicking through the streets of Union Springs. It is absolutely beautiful. It really is a gorgeous, gorgeous town.
It looks like a great little small town.
And this is our courthouse there. Absolutely wonderful. The courthouse is an Empire Style Courthouse. And
that right there?
That's the library. This is the courthouse.
Okay, gotcha.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to see if I can get it to kind of stop on the pictures there.
That's
you
awesome.
Tell me if I've...
That's the library. That's the historic library there. And then there's our courthouse.
Nice.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And you get access to that too, as well. Is that what you were saying?
You get access to the basement of the courthouse. It is quite spooky in there. But we do get access to the courthouse. They entrust us to be able to use that as the facilities for warming up our cold bones or any, facilities that we need for restrooms, because it does not
the jail's on the back side of the courthouse.
Yeah. And the jail's on the back side. So it's hidden. You can't see it from the road. You've got to go behind the courthouse. So many people, when they're looking for the old Bullitt County Jail, they miss it because you cannot see it from the road at all. So,
and the cabin that you're talking about, where is that in relation to this?
That is actually a block in the opposite direction.
Okay.
So it's going to be back behind the library.
Okay.
And it's all within walking distance. There's beautiful murals there. Hank Williams Senior's mural. Yep, Hank Williams' mural is there. He played quite often in Union Springs. So it's not uncommon. And there's a beautiful statue of a dog there. It's a great location. We absolutely love it.
Wow, that is fantastic. That's a great picture. That sunset is very neat.
Yeah.
I mean, the trucks are on the side. They have is it a regular
there's
truck?
a tank out there, an old like a tank style truck out there. And the on the back side of the small building was used as the far window that you see, that's, if you're looking at this picture, the window on the right, that's a storage unit.
Okay.
Back behind that addition is where you can see the original paddy wagon, basically, is what it is. It's an old wagon that they used to transport the prisoners from Bullitt County Jail to the work camp, and is actually still behind the building right there.
Oh, wow.
That's nice.
Yeah, so it's quite a neat place. And then to the left of the door, if you're looking at it, of the white door, that's the kitchen area. And inside that kitchen area is actually one of the original stills that they were able to confiscate from a local many years ago. And so it has the actual still in the kitchen. So that's pretty neat.
So how long was this in operation?
So it was actually in operation for almost 80 years, right at 80, maybe a little over 80 years.
Okay.
So it went for a while. It was built in 1897, and it was built by the Pauly Jail Company, and that's where it's got the name, because there's not many Pauly jails. And the structure of it has got a very castle-like structure to it, and it does have 3 stories. The neat thing about it that we have not been able to do, and we really want to, is to find out what is underneath it, because as you're walking through the front door, it's very hollow sounding. So you can tell that there's something that was at one time underneath the building. And now it's completely covered with concrete. So you really can't see what's down there.
Not even with a snake.
Not even
Really?
we've got a
Because I was
snake.
going to say, I've got like 100-foot snake with a camera.
Yeah, we've sit down the whole.
I've tried. We've tried.
Everywhere we can't get in it.
We stuck it in every hole we could find.
Man, there has to be a way.
And exterior. So that is the one thing that we are definitely hoping to get more information on. It could have been used as something, just as, a cellar to be able to put, dry goods down there, or a root cellar or something. But definitely something was underneath that floor at one time. So they've done a lot of work since it closed down, but it was from 1820 to the closing. There was a lot of information, a lot of data where it wasn't kept up to what now would be code for the building. Very cold nights were spent there by a lot of inmates. And it, there is only one fireplace in the entire, and usually in the jails that you're going to have, some type of heating source where the jailers lived at. And there is one singular fireplace,
Wow.
in there to heat the entire building. And I mean, just because we wanted to see how it felt, because there is no electricity there. There's not been electricity there since the 60s, 70s.
Oh, wow.
So there's all of the original wiring is still in there. It's just completely shut off. You can go to the different jump boxes, and it's all original outlets and things like that in the Pauly Jail.
Is there just no desire? I'm sorry. Is there just no desire to turn it back on, or it can't?
No
be turned
one's
on?
had any desire to push to have it done. Like, I really, really would love for them to be able to make it to where we could have electricity in there. It is very, very, we call it primitive investigation.
Yeah.
When I say we've investigated in 110 heat index in this building, and we wanted to see, we wanted to experience what they experienced. So last July one of the hottest, weeks of the year. And we went in there. We all walked away I think 20 pounds lighter from all the sweat. But we investigated from 1 p.m. until 4 o'clock a.m. the following morning. And we investigated this oven is what it is in the summertime. So to not have the heat and the electricity, I mean, just to know that it's what we experienced versus what the inmates and even the jailers experienced when they worked in this facility or inhabited this facility. So they came through, and they actually, Miss Barbara, there's trenches that are now around the Pauly Jail to be able to allow it. And Miss Barbara, who is in her 70s and is the director of the Bullitt County Historical Society, actually dug those trenches around the Pauly Jail by hand.
Wow.
Yes.
You go, girl.
No doubt.
Fabulous. And I tell her every time now, it's like, don't do stuff like that without calling me. I will come over there and get my hands dirty. I don't want you out there doing that. So we basically not only
power.
Yeah, I would really, I don't know, because it is, when you're going in there, you are getting the real what these inmates endured. we've even gone in there when it in December, and it's the
It's
middle of a
freezing.
rainstorm, and the walls are sweating with humidity.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like it is just a different feeling when you are experiencing what these inmates and jailers experienced while they were there. So
So
it
go ahead.
it takes on a totally different feeling for us, you know, than
Oh,
going
sure.
to a
Yeah.
location.
I don't know if I want it to be all lit up, and I like it the way it is. It makes it real. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
That's
Just
true.
real.
That is true. So it closed in 1980, correct? Is that what I
Yes.
saw? Okay.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
can you back up just a little bit and talk about some of those inmates, some of those historical stories? You know, what in your mind is causing it to have the activity that it has?
So we there was quite a lot of murderers that were brought to the Bullitt County Jail.
Okay.
Anything from the Pike County, which is further south, and even a lot of people would escape this jail, ended up being taken back. There was a lot of jailbreaks, 30 plus on record that I
Wow.
found of
Wow.
jailbreaks. But one of the most historical ones that was ever in the history of the Pauly Jail in Union Springs, Alabama, was the Aberdeen Johnson. And Aberdeen Johnson was arrested for hurting a female. I won't get into full detail, but and so he was falsely accused, and the town wanted justice for the lady. And so they actually had him on the third floor of the Pauly Jail. And Aberdeen Johnson was his normal night. He had something to eat, was awaiting trial, was going through, you know, probably thinking, you know, why me? You know, like that's what I think Aberdeen would be saying. Why me? The locals actually came in. They got the blacksmith to come and break the door down. And so when the blacksmith got the door down, they took Aberdeen out. And he was about 2 miles when they put him up a tree.
Wow.
And so, I mean, it was a lot of mob style retaliation in this small town of Union Springs. They took it upon themselves to bring justice. So small town justice was all the way through, you know, the 20th century in this. And this was the second jail in Union Springs. The first one was 2 blocks away, where they also had gallows there. And so most people get that, you know, kind of messed up when they're talking. They don't realize that the location where the Bullitt County Jail sits now is not where the original jail sat. It is actually 2 blocks up from where it is now. And so, you know, there was a lot of small town justice, and they were going to make sure that what they felt needed to be done was going to be done. And that was done for Aberdeen Johnson. Where exactly, we don't know where he met his demise at with the locals. There's people who are saying that it's actually in the local cemetery there, but that doesn't make sense historically. That's only a couple blocks, and you know, they say it was 2 miles, but the mob did bring him, and they said that he was he had consistent wounds throughout his body, so he wasn't just, you know, put up a tree. He was completely tortured on the way where he met his death at. So Aberdeen is the one that to me has a major hold on the jail itself. And you can actually see it right there. There's the paddy wagon to the side
cool.
there. And so Aberdeen was one of many. We have a JW man who also, he was one of the last to die there at the Pauly Jail. And he had been out drinking at the local watering hole, and he got a little loud. So JW was the other one who had passed away there at the jail. And weirdly strange that JW and I are actually related.
Really?
Yes, his sister married a Mathis, and I'm descendant of the Mathises. So yeah, so JW and I have a long history that we have found. But he did. JW was the rowdy drinker of Union Springs, and he got a little too much, and he had to be put in the tank. And they didn't have room because he was the only one. And somehow he ended up on the 3rd floor. And the 3rd floor is where the hardened criminals were at. They checked him when he first came in, but he had 2 shirts on. And the only thing that they found on the first initial search was, just a small little pocket knife. Nothing too intense. But he did have his cigarettes and lighter in his second shirt. And they say when he got to the jail that he was not intoxicated, that he showed no signs of intoxication at all. And then I don't know if he fell asleep. It doesn't really say in any of the history of JW, but the mattress caught fire, and it just wasn't consistent to me because other things that I've seen in the historical research of the Bullitt County Jail, there was always a jailer on the 3rd floor because it was the hardened criminals, and he was not in there. He was not in the building at all. There were no jailers in the building.
Wow.
So, when the jailer did come back into the building, the entire 1st floor, which is where the women's cell block is at, was full of smoke, and he died of suffocation.
Wow.
And they say that it was suffocation. Some reports say that his mattress burned. How it really happens, I don't think we'll ever know. We have had some good responses when we're in there asking about JW. He's more of a protector when you're going in there. He likes to protect the ladies. We've felt that, and he loves talking to me now that he knows we're related. He's like, yeah, let's talk. So, but JW did, and he did pass away, and we still don't know why he was on the 3rd floor. Was it an overflow? But he did, and it was, it was sad.
Yeah.
Now, what was the capacity?
Do what?
What was the capacity of the jail?
Well, the capacity of the jail and what was in the jail, the records show that this is one of the cells right here behind me. And there, at any given time, they said that there was 8 to 10 people in one of these. And as you can see, it's not very big.
That's tight.
Yeah.
And that's the 2nd floor. So on the opposite side is where the bullpen is at. And it has the opening. They could sit, play cards. So this area here, there are 4 cells on the 2nd floor. And each one has 2 bunks. So it would be an upper and a lower bunk in all 4 of them. So it wasn't very big, and the upstairs is even smaller. So
Why did
time there could be 8 to 10 people on record in there at once?
Why did it close in 1980? Just they had no more use for it, or what was the deal?
They ended up building. They got approval to have another jail built, which is the one that's there now. And when they closed this one down, it was they said that the repairs were beyond, what they would do. It When they built this jail, they built it for under $8,000. So,
Oh.
they didn't keep up with the repairs. Many documentations of the local inspectors coming in and, saying they were going to shut it down because of the condition of the jail. It has since been repaired a lot. They actually had a movie that was here at this jail called Heaven Falls, and it was about the Scottsboro boys. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the Scottsboro boys here in Alabama, but they used this jail as a scene in the movie in the early 2000s called Heaven Falls, and the Scottsboro boys are another another one of those small town Alabama justice. Shane's been there. There's Shane. And so Shane grew up going over to this area as well, because it's just right on the Georgia line. So it's only probably about 45 minutes from the Georgia line.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's absolutely a stunning, stunning building. And if anyone out there happens to come across any of the Pauly Jail keys that are out there, please let me know, because I am looking for those. So, yeah,
that's awesome. So, what have been some of the things that y'all have experienced there?
They really, really love when it's just the ladies. When you start bringing in men, not so much. They shut down, and we don't get the experience like we do when it's just us ladies.
Mm-hmm.
We do have
experience that way.
We have had. Oh, we're losing you, Carol.
I figures the weather.
Yeah, probably.
No, I was saying we've done experiments with just men, or men and women, or just women, and it's always we get more with the women. Men are there, and we're kind of like, maybe I should just go home because
go back to your Airbnb.
Back to Airbnb, nothing's working out.
And you
third
can
floor is heavy.
Mm-hmm. Very heavy.
Third floor is very heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, you did send us some evidence that I can play here whenever you all are ready. You all just let me know.
Yeah.
Because I'm kind of scrolling through some of this. Let me go ahead and cue that up. Actually, do you want to set that up before we play it? I'll get it queued while you're setting it up.
So we were investigating, this was last July when we were talking about being in this oven investigating, and we had Amy Tucker with us, and we had a couple other guests that came to investigate, all women, and we were in the women's cell block, and they called my name across the spirit box. And we told them, hey, if you're not going to give us anything, we're going to move on to another room. And you hear it come through the spirit box, come on up. And as we actually went upstairs, the night just unfolded for us. So,
awesome.
Okay. Let me
Didn't realize it until later.
Yeah.
Hold up there. All right.
I felt that up my back. Right shoulder.
You touching Crystal? Now you touching Crystal?
Do you not want us on your bone?
Come on, make it light up. If not, you won't get a chance to talk to us again. We're gonna move. We're on to the next level, to the next cell.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow, that
Yeah,
was
and we had
That
absolutely
was clear.
we
yeah,
had
and
no
then
idea until after we, of course, started going back that they actually wanted us to come upstairs.
Yeah.
And while we are upstairs on the second floor in the bullpen, we're investigating. We've got, all of our equipment set out through the entire second floor. And we're all four, well, no, there's five of us. All five of us are sitting at the bullpen. And I thought someone was actually downstairs rummaging through our equipment cases because that's what it sounded like. And so we had a prior corrections officer, which is Amy, that can be seen in the video. And so she went down to check to make sure that there wasn't a living person downstairs going through all of our equipment cases. And no one was down there. So we went back to investigating on the second floor. And as we did, loud boot steps running up the stairs. And these are solid steel stairs. So they reverberate up through this building. And so we sent Tuck back over there to check, see what was going on. No one was there. As the night came to a close, we were checking off all of our equipment, make sure we had everything. And I had an ANC Mini that was sitting on top of one of my equipment cases enclosed in a box. The box had flipped itself over off of the case and was in the kitchen, and it was turned on.
Wow.
And it was almost dead. And I hadn't used it the entire night, so they just completely drained it. So it has been investigated a lot, so they do not have a problem with utilizing equipment. And Sean Daniel, who does a lot of our filming and a lot of our work with us, has gone in there and gotten full body apparitions.
Nice.
So
They kind of like to touch. And that
very
jail.
intelligent. Yes. They're very touchy. Yeah.
Now, you mentioned that Amy was a former corrections officer. I know with our jail, any type of law enforcement or corrections officer gets interesting responses. Have you seen that at your jail as well?
Yes, definitely. And like we go through and do the 10 o'clock checks. That's one thing that we do often is, checking the bunks, making sure everybody's where they're supposed to be. And she'll go through and she'll do that. And that definitely, we get some very intelligent responses. We've got an EVP once that even said, "Hurry, she's coming."
Cool.
oh wow.
And there's a lot of intelligence to what we get from the jail. There's residual, but a lot of intelligent responses, and they do call us often by name.
Yeah.
Wow.
I feel like we've spent so much time there that they know. And when we had Mid-10 and Ghost Girl Gina come in with us in April. Nothing. They were quiet as a church mouse in there. But as soon as everybody left, they were like, "Okay, party."
But that was the night we were talking about too, that it was so loud. There's usually nothing going on. But that night there was sirens,
we
just
had
all
life flight
kinds
come
of stuff.
through.
It was loud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is a very, very interesting place.
When we've been talking to other jail owners and operators or tour guides, like Felicity that goes into these jails, it really seems, and even at our jail, it seems to me that jails and prisons probably have the highest ratio of intelligent paranormal responses than any other location.
I agree.
It really is fascinating to me. But I think, like your jail and our jail and the other jails that we've spoken to, just the longevity and the amount of inmates and jailers, and in some case jailers' families who have spent time in there, I just think that there's so many that have come back and have stayed in those locations, which is fascinating.
And it is. We've also experienced this in other locations as well, like at Fort Morgan, in the jail area of Fort Morgan. We get a lot of intelligent responses down there.
Yeah.
Opelousas County Courthouse was the top floor was a jail for many, many years. And we've gotten a lot of very intelligent responses up there.
Mhm.
So, and they do, like, one thing that I can say when it comes to a lot of jails is they are very touchy. They like to touch. They love to groom your hair and pull on it. I mean, that is one thing they don't. I've never been harmed at all.
Nope, never.
Never been harmed. I have walked away once with a scratch, but I tell everyone when it comes down to things like a scratch, we write that off. You know, I could have bumped into a wall. I mean, these buildings are old. Most of them are brick and stone. You know, I could have walked into something or turned really quick and hit something with my arm, just not noticed it in the moment. You know, so that's the only time that I have ever experienced that could possibly be. But again, it was nothing to me that I felt was any type of malicious intent or malevolence to it.
They seem to be curious because
They're very curious.
There's times like it feels like they're standing behind you and watching what it is that you're doing, because they did it a lot when Crystal and Amy were in the cell. I was outside the cell and I could feel them back there, and I'm like, grab the camera, take a picture quick. But it's more like, you know, how someone's looking over your shoulder to see what you're doing. It's more like that. It's like, what
Like
are they doing
snitches
now?
get
What is
stitches
that?
type
What do
thing,
they have
you know?
this time?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
snitches
know,
get stitches.
one of the interesting things that we have happen at our jail is there's a lot of, like, somebody will stand behind you and sigh like exasperated. It's
We
almost
do
like
get this.
I'm answering your questions. I'm right here. Don't you see me?
Yeah, like,
And why aren't you acknowledging me?
listen.
So that to me is kind of fascinating. But, you know, Crystal, to your point, we've never felt anything malicious or demonic or evil in our jail at all. And you know, we had one team where they captured the phrase "get out" on the spirit box, and they come running down the stairs. Oh my gosh, it's so bad. No, it's not. They just want you out of their space.
Yeah.
So it's not.
That goes into a respect as well. When we ask them, hey, you know, it's getting late. Do you want us to stay? Would you like for us to go? If they tell us we've had enough or it's time to go or get out, we pack our stuff and we go. And that's why that they respond to us the way that they do, is because we respect that. We're trying to get answers for them, and they understand that. And they trust us to be able to say when they've had enough, for us to respect their space and say, okay, well, we're going to stop for tonight and we'll be back in a few weeks or a month, and we'll try it again. And we always close. We enter the building letting them know that we're back. I do also sing through. They love when I sing to them. That is one of their favorite things, is when I sing some of their old country tunes. So throughout the night, I will sing some tunes for them. But when we close the building down and we lock it back up, before we do anything, Carol and I, everyone's gone. She and I will go through the building and just tell them, everyone, we thank you for having us here. You know, thank you for letting us be here, and we will be back. So don't worry, you know, and let them know that.
Quiet for a while.
Yeah, sit in silence with them.
Absolutely.
Or we have conversations like you and I would just, we just sit there and conversate with them as if they were just sitting there with us in person. So,
Now, does the jail offer day tours as well, or is it just, are they making money through the paranormal after dark stuff just right now?
Just the after dark stuff. They do have, if I call up Miss Barbara and say, look, there's someone that would like to see the inside of the jail. She'll either give me the key, tell me to go and lock it, or she'll go by and leave the courthouse and go and lock it and let them walk through at any time. Anybody that wants to see it, they can reach out to me or to the historic Bullitt Historical Society at Bullitt County Jail. So
Yeah, the reason for my question was, we actually have a lot of people that come in through a day to do our day tours, and really have no affiliation with the paranormal, don't even really know or ask or perceive that the building is active, and they'll come down and say, something happened upstairs. Is there anybody else upstairs? Are you the only person here? I heard a woman say help. I heard a man say hello. And so I was just wondering, do you have activity during the day as well?
oh yes, I mean, any time of the day, it never ceases to amaze how Sean was actually there with us in our April, I believe it was, or December. It was in December. He came with us. And I called Miss Barbara up and I said, Miss Barbara, I said, I've got someone, our film crew's coming in early and would like to tour during the day. And as soon as he came in through the door, he felt something touch his shoulder.
Yeah,
And
the instant he walked in,
you
he had
can,
all kinds
you
of
can
stuff.
see it in the film. He's like, oh my gosh, what was that? Like it grabbed my shoulder as he walked in the door. And he was by himself. He was the only one in the building. He did capture EVPs there during the day. So he also gets some decent responses during the daytime hours as well.
Mm-hmm.
He has spent a lot of time there, not just with us, but even with searchers.
Mm-hmm.
So Sean gets some decent responses during the daytime hours by himself.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've been putting up the phone number and information on the screen there if people want to book an investigation. Also, the website, I'm real impressed with the website that they have there. It's got a lot of information as far as the history goes, getting in
they have a lot
contact.
of information.
Yeah, getting in contact with let's see here, with the Pauly Jail, with the Historical Society,
Mhm.
and then just other information from that
Yep.
area. So,
And there
other
is
things to
not
do.
any lodging in the area except for one place me and Miss Barbara do like to send people to is called Dreamfield Farms, which is about 8 to 10 minutes away from the jail. And they have little cabins set up out there. Nothing historical. But that is the only location without driving either into Eufaula, Alabama, or back into Montgomery.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay.
So when somebody books an investigation, are you on site with them during the night?
Oh no, that's all them. They Miss Barbara lets them. I mean, it is such she trusts people way more than I think I could, but leave the cash in the envelope. And it's, I mean, even when it comes down to it, like Sheriff Buck will not go inside that jail. And he will tell me, he said, Miss Crystal, I don't do the dead. I do the living. I take care of the living and you take care of the dead. And that's what Sheriff Buck
Just like that too.
he says it just like that too. He was so funny. He's like, I don't do the dead.
At least he's honest.
But most of the sheriff deputies won't go in there, and we're just like,
Same.
okay, we do it all
They'll
the
check
time.
on you from a distance.
We
saying,
should be
"How
the ones
done?"
protecting Union Springs.
Yeah, I just told somebody today, I wish they deputized me here in Scott County. We'll take care of it.
Exactly.
But yes, our deputies here won't go in either. They're like, nope, we'll stay away from that. Thanks.
That's how it is in Union Springs. And she will leave the forms that need to be signed in an envelope with your name on them that she's printed out along with a pen. And there's some historical information pamphlets there on the old wooden desk that belonged to the jailer. And you fill those forms out. She'll ask how many are going to be there. It's $250 for an event and $75 for an investigation.
Wow.
So she just increased the prices. It was $50 and it is now $75. And that is all day
Reasonable.
and
Yeah.
all night. So again, no electricity, no running water, no restroom facilities inside the jail. But there are places you can eat. We always take a lot of water. Again, you can't really do much when it comes to like surveillance cameras. there's just no way unless you have a lot of battery and power banks to get things going that way. But we set up a lot of, just the old fashioned handy cams and action cams throughout the jail.
That's
so
awesome.
It's a great place. We love our jail.
Well, it certainly shows, and what you guys are doing to help preserve the history of it, and working with the Historical Society and really telling the story of the jail. We very, very much appreciate what you do, and taking the time today to fill us in on some more information on it.
Yeah, definitely. We'll have to get you guys down.
So we got to get you guys up.
I know. It's like we'll just swap places.
There you go.
I'm saying this now. We just got to put
we'll
it
meet in the middle and swap keys.
There you go.
Yeah, there we go.
There you go. And why don't you go ahead and push your website so that folks can follow you guys if they're looking for some interesting events in the area, or to meet you all in person, or even some of your equipment.
You can find us Ghost Hunting Housewives on all social media platforms. And on all of our social media, there is a link tree there. So that will take you to all of our calendar of events, our contact forms, any fundraisers that we currently have going on for historical preservation projects, and our stores. So yeah, we're always releasing new blog posts, new information. We just try to keep everything moving right along.
Yeah, and we've got that Linktree link in the show notes, but I'm
there's our little QR codes up there too.
Yeah, and the QR code.
I love it.
That'll take you everywhere.
That'll take you to all of it. So
I'm trying to pull everything up, and I've got the sun setting right in my eyes.
I've been watching it. You get brighter, and
I know, it's like, wow.
She's regretting sitting on that porch right now.
I really am, because I wasn't expecting. I'm sitting here and I'm like,
God damn, it's sunset.
I can't see, right? I can't see comments. I can't see what I'm trying to pull up.
It was all cute and fun and games.
And I think last month when you were on our show, it just went completely blacked out dark on us. So.
It did. I was at my grandma's house, and it was funny because I was getting eat up by mosquitoes, and it got dark real quick. So
yeah, and you were just rolling right along with it. So,
but guys, if you go to the link tree on here, and I'm going to actually paste that. Well, we've got it in the show notes, but I'm going to go ahead and paste it over here, because if you're not following these ladies, you definitely need to go and do that, because they do a great podcast monthly. They do a lot of events. They also go to different locations, working with those historic societies and working with folks very, very big in preservation and restoration there. So follow them. You're going to be glad you did, for sure. And let's see. I am locked up on here for some reason.
Oh, goodness.
I know. I can't.
It's the sun. It's blinding, huh?
Yeah.
It is. It is. There we go. Yeah. Okay, here we go.
Bring us back, Miranda.
I'm trying here. Everything's locked up.
There we go.
There we go.
And there's the there's the link tree. But if you go follow Ghost Hunting Housewives on Facebook, they've got a link to their link tree on there.
Yeah, I believe Linktree is probably in every bio on every social media that we have. So
perfect. Well, ladies, thank you again so much for taking the time tonight. We really do appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
I'd love to get down there and investigate at some point. And like I said, you got to come up. And, Felicity makes an interesting idea there.
The awesome thing about the jail is we can actually sleep in the bunks, and we can just we've not actually officially slept. I'm 45 minutes from the jail. So, I mean, we haven't slept in there, but we can bring sleeping bags.
It's neither too hot or too cold.
I'd go on the cold side.
Humid, and we would wake up with pneumonia. I mean, one or the other. So.
Yeah. That's the last time the walls were sweating. I was like, I don't think this is a good idea.
Yeah, you don't know what we're breathing
in. We slept in the blazer.
Yeah, we slept in the car.
But Felicity, we'll have to think about that idea. That actually sounds kind of neat. Of alive at 3 different locations could be kind of something interesting. And Felicity, thank you for the care package that you sent as well from St. Andrews in that area. We really do appreciate it.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, it looks like we're getting up here to at the top of the hour. I know you've got a tour that
yep,
you're
I gotta
getting
get
ready
ready
to
for tour.
do. I've got my Ghost Biker podcast that's going to be here in an hour. If you guys want to continue the conversation, tune into the Ghost Biker Explorations Facebook page and YouTube channel. I'm going to have Eric Freeman Sims on tonight, and we're going to be talking about his new location, the Night House, and we're going to be sharing some evidence from there. So if you want to hear about another new location, come check it out. But thank you all over in the chat room here. You always make the show so much fun, and we appreciate you tuning in every week. And we appreciate you ladies for taking the time to talk with us.
Definitely.
Thank
Thank you all for having us.
Thank you, everybody.
Again.
Absolutely. So we will be back next weekend at 7 p.m. Eastern time, hopefully with another jail. If not, it will be another intriguing conversation nonetheless.
With somebody. We'll grab somebody.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So
All right,
thank
everybody.
you all, and we'll see you then.
Have a great night, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Night.
Mm.